Well, let's return now to that breaking news story from the Czech Republic. Authorities there say that more than 15 people have been killed after a shooting at a university in Prague. Many others were injured, some seriously. We believe the number of injured now stands at around 24. Well, police say the shooter's body was also found at the scene by police. Let's take you live now to the latest. Darkness has well and truly fallen on Prague, but the police are still very much out in force. And our journalist who is there told us that many areas around the university are still cordoned off by police who are advising people to stay away. At a press conference earlier, police confirmed the shooter was a student at the university's Faculty of Arts at Charles University, where the incident happened. Now, the university is near a very famous tourist site, the 14th century Charles Bridge. It's at the heart of historic Prague, just a stone's throw from the old town square. Now, Prague, as we know, is very popular with tourists throughout the year, but it's the Christmas markets and the Christmas season where it really sees the number of tourists increasing. And we spoke to a few people earlier on in the programme who were there on holiday. The BBC have also spoken to a couple who were in Prague on their honeymoon who said that they were told by police to get down and to get away as quickly as possible. Now, when the event happened, police evacuated the building and they warned the people around the area, the Jan Palach Square, to stay away. Now, the Interior Minister has been speaking. He's been reassuring people that there is no imminent danger anymore and that this is not connected to international terrorism in any way. The Czech President, Petr Pavel, has expressed his shock and sent his condolences. And the Czech Prime Minister has said that all future events have been cancelled in light of these tragic events. We know that this shooting is the biggest mass shooting seen in modern Czech history. There was a gun attack back in 2019, which killed 4 men and 2 women. That time, a man opened fire at a trauma clinic waiting room in another part of the Czech Republic. But since then, nothing of this size or anywhere near this size has happened. And gun crime in the Czech Republic are very, very rare indeed. I've been speaking to a number of journalists and they have all confirmed this. So, as you can see from those live pictures, police and ambulances still very much at the scene. One person who was also at the scene was Professor Sergei Medvedev. He was inside the Charles University building in Prague when the shooting happened. He described the experience to me.
So I was in the auditorium. I was giving a lecture at the moment. And we first didn't quite realize what happened. Because there were some sounds. Well, the students, I think, heard it better because I was so much concentrated on my talking, on my lecture. Then we stayed in the auditorium. We understood that something big is happening. There was nothing online yet, nothing in the Czech press and the networks. And then at some point, the special operation troops, went storming in. They searched the room briefly and then went out. After which they told us to stay inside. So I understood that something big has happened, and then there was some shooting. Probably there was already shooting by the police forces, liquidating the shooter himself. And then we stayed inside, we stayed away from the doors. We barricaded the door. We put all the, desks against the door. We turned off the lights. We didn't stay close to the windows. And then 1 hour later, another police squad broke in and then put us on the floor, briefly searched us, and then evacuated from the building. So we're now in the neighboring concert hall called the Rudolfinum. And so we're all assembled here and our documents checked and we're waiting for further developments.
Professor, how frightening was that to have to barricade yourselves in that lecture room for a whole hour before you knew what was happening and you knew that you could get out?
I don't know, maybe the fright will come later. I wasn't really frightened at the moment. Also, when they're students, you feel responsibility. So you're really thinking about the people for whom you're responsible for. No, it was more like, calm curiosity. I didn't know about the human loss then. So maybe it will dawn on me later. As we were evacuated, and we were walking on the stairs, and there's this historic marble stairs there, and they're all splashed with blood. There was lots of blood on the stairs, and I wouldn't say I saw the dead bodies, but I see the crutches Probably there were bodies on the crutches, so probably they were already evacuated by then. And then we were briskly evacuated from the building.
That must have been just horrible to see that as you were walking down those stairs.
You know what? In the moment that it is happening, you are not thinking about how horrible it is. You're just acting. You're going, you're just running to safety. Maybe it looks horrible when you watch it on TV, but as you're inside the storm, in the eye of the storm, you just think, you know, you should make your next step. You should move forward.
Professor, how common is gun crime in the Czech Republic?
Not that I've heard of. I think in terms of crime, in terms of, you know, gun shooting, it's one of the safest places on earth I can think of. It's really it's really a shock that it's happening in Prague, in one of the quieter European destinations in the middle of the Christmas season, when the city is packed with tourists. And it's actually at the very heart of the city. It's at the heart of the Staré Město, the old city. And just outside the windows of our auditorium, we're seeing the Prague Castle. Pražský hrad. It's just half a mile away. It's a gorgeous sight outside the window. Next is the historical synagogue, and it's like really the heart of the city. The Christmas fair is half a mile away on the old city square. So that's quite impressive that, you know, whoever the shooter was struck right at the heart of the celebration in a very popular global destination.